And then, of course, we have garbage or trash and recycling. I made this all look like the same thing, but it's different. Garbage and trash are the same thing, the things you throw out. Recycling is the things you throw out, but you want them to be used again. Okay. So this might be included in your taxes. Like for me, this is just included in my taxes. Or you might have to pay a separate bill. When I was young, we took our garbage to the dump and we had to pay to bring the garbage there. I know in some of your countries, garbage and recycling is completely free, but that is one other expense, one other service that you need to have each month, because you can't just let your garbage pile up. That would be a really, really bad thing. Snow removal. You might not have this where you live. You might have sand removal where you live. I don't know how things work. I saw pictures of really big sandstorms hitting a city once, and it looked a lot like a snowstorm, except it was sand. But here in Canada, when it snows, you either have to shovel it yourself or you might pay for snow removal. I do my own snow. I have shovels and tractors and things like that. But people who live in the city might pay for a snow removal service. So a person will come in a big truck with a blade on the front and they will plow your driveway. I'm trying to think. This, like we say, they plow your driveway. It's an interesting word, snow plow. Yeah, so they'll come and they'll do snow removal. They might have a snow blower that shoots the snow. They might have a tractor with a loader to lift and remove the snow, but you might need to pay for snow removal. Oh, yeah, this is a good one. Okay, you might have rent that includes utilities, and you might have rent with utilities not included. So in Canada, this isn't always true, but generally, when you rent an apartment, the utilities are included. You pay one fee for everything. So it's rent, heat, electricity. You probably have to pay for internet and TV separately. So when it says rents included, it says all utilities included. So this might actually include internet and TV, although I think that's rare. But you also have a situation where you might rent an apartment or house and utilities are not included. So you pay rent, but then here you also have to pay extra for electricity and internet, etc., etc. So what I was going to say though is, in Canada, often when you rent an apartment, utilities are included. But if you rent a house, you have to pay for the utilities. Again, that's not always true. It's just the most common way for it to happen. Water lines and sewer lines. So when water comes into your house or apartment, it has to come from somewhere. If you go out into the street and dig, don't actually do this, but if you go and dig, you will find a water line or a water main. Technically, the water line runs from your house to the water main, and the water main is a really big pipe that's usually under the road or along your street or road. So that's how the water gets to your house, through a water main or water line. Now, we do use these terms interchangeably because we're not all experts, but when water comes to your house, it comes through a water line or water main, which are pipes. When water leaves your house, when you flush the toilet or when water goes down the drain, it goes through a sewer line to a sewer main, and it goes off to the wastewater treatment plant. And then we have things called manholes or maintenance holes. Sometimes they have to fix the pipes that are underground. They have to go into the manhole or maintenance hole and they have to fix a leak, or hopefully it's not the sewer pipe. That probably smells really, really bad. But definitely there are times where they have to go fix things and they need to get access. If you drive around, you will see utility poles. In Canada, in my part of Canada, we call them hydro poles. In some places, they're called power poles or electrical poles, but utility pole is probably the best term. You actually might be surprised what's all on this utility pole. I think these are actually internet or phone wires. I think the very top wires are probably electricity. I'm not sure. These might be cable TV or electricity or phone or internet as well. Often a utility pole will have multiple things on it. This one's pretty full. This is a lot of stuff, but I'm pretty sure this is cable TV, and I'm pretty sure the top is electricity, and maybe the middle is something else. And then we have the lines are actually called power lines. That's what I would refer to those as. The power lines at the top of the utility pole. If you're lucky, you might have a backup generator. I have a generator, but it's not like this one. This is an automatic backup generator. If the power goes out, if the electricity goes out, this has an engine in it that runs off natural gas or gasoline, and it automatically starts and makes electricity for your house. So very cool. My backup generator is just on wheels, and I have to drive it somewhere, and then I have to pull it. Actually, I don't have to pull it. It has electric start. I have an older, smaller one that you have to pull start. But a backup generator makes electricity when the power goes out. That is its job. There's also something called off-grid. So I'm definitely on-grid. So I am connected to the electrical grid. When you are off-grid, it means that you must make your own electricity. It sometimes means as well that you do not have running water and you might not have sewer. But generally, when we talk about the grid, we're talking about electricity. When we talk about off-grid, it means there's no wire coming from a utility pole to your house or cabin or apartment. So you are off-grid. And then it usually extends to also mean that you don't have running water. You probably have to bring your own water. If you went to a place like this, you would need to bring some bottles of water. And then the people who work on this are called utility workers. They might install utilities. They might do maintenance on utilities. They might repair utilities. But a utility worker is someone who climbs utility poles. They sometimes dig in the ground to fix wires or pipes that are underground. A utility worker is the person or the people who make all of this stuff work. We actually owe them a lot, by the way. The world works well because of these people. So thank you. If you're a utility worker, you're awesome. Thank you for the electricity and the water and the sewer pipes and everything that you take care of.